And that is how humid it gets down here. Windows in the house fogged up. Of course, some are single pane, but even our double panes are fogged up. Moisture on the doorknobs. It's humid down here. Of course, it's dry and cool in there, but I got it set at 78 degrees in there. Look at the bees on the window. A couple bees. Even the window frames are condensating. It's so humid down here. But in here in the honey house, we're holding at 40%, which actually usually hangs pretty well at 35. That's what I have it set on. But 40 is just fine. 78 degrees. This mini split does a really nice job with the dry mode. But there's our 10 boxes. I'm gonna get after those. Well, hello everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Coming to you from my little workshop here, where I'm gonna go ahead and extract a little bit of honey. It is June 13th. Welcome to Southeast Louisiana. So folks, in here just doing a little work. I turned my fans off so you could hear me. Getting a little honey bottled. Got this, have this all ready to go for this weekend. And some deliveries I gotta make. Little display shelf. Had to start going down here with it. There's so many honeys there from people. Cool stuff. Even up top, yeah. So anyway, since I wasn't going to be extracting yesterday evening, I did put fans on this to keep it dry, so it wouldn't get any more moisture to it. Our moisture is staying steady at 40. So I got the old refractometer out. I got a new one coming. I'm excited. I didn't order it soon enough, but I'm getting a refractometer from Hilco, the electronic version, digital. Looking forward to using that. I was getting ready to come out here and get busy, and guess what? Mr. Ed calls me and just works out that anytime he calls, we just talk for a while. So now I'm going to get started. Got the Hilco ready to go. Now I'm going to do a little review on this. It is a Ultra Max. I think I said it in another video. 18, but it's the older version, but yet not the oldest. This is the second generation, I believe. Not a whole lot different on the newer one. Nicer housing for the controls. Motors and all similar. They did stop making the nylon ring in here. The nylon, whatever you call this thing. The reel, the nylon reel. I haven't had any issues. I honestly believe the flex to it helps balance it, but I haven't had any issues. They were used in Europe for years, but this thing works fantastic, loads fine. Nice, beautiful tank. They have improved their gasket on the valve instead of the O-ring now. I have the O-ring, but this works just fine for me. I love it because it is the stainless steel. My Maxent came with a plastic honey gate, So the nice thing about this one, of course, I think we all that are familiar with Hilco know about it, but those that aren't, this tank's bottom, even it's conical to where it drains to the outsides, but it's also sloped down to the front. It's higher in the back, lower in the front. And if you can tell, the actual valve is below the bottom, so all the honey comes out of here. This has been one of the best additions to my extracting process. I love this thing. It runs so quiet. The thing runs like a champ. I love it. So here shortly we're going to get busy using it. So I want to check some moisture on this. Tallow runs somewhat wet anyway, so it doesn't hurt to put the fans on it. Another reason, in the other video I talked about, small hive beetles, you desiccate the eggs. You dry the eggs of a small hive beetle out, and so that larvae doesn't hatch out into your honey. You will hatch larvae out into that honey and they will destroy it. Now, not all honey boxes are loaded with the eggs, but you don't want to take any chances. I have when I was new in beekeeping, didn't know any better, I let one sit, and 3 days later I saw larvae crawling on the floor, and sure enough, it was destroyed. So drying it below 50% humidity or 55% humidity, that is what desiccates those eggs. That's what kills them, and that's why they're safe to sit in here. Because I'll dry, when I was pulling lots of boxes at one time, I'd put 25 or 30 boxes stacked in 5 stacks through here, and I would just have fans running on them constantly, and I'd leave them there, and I'd extract as I could each day. And so some of them would sit there for over a week and drying, and it was fine. Never had a problem once I started drying stuff. Didn't have a problem before because I'd extract immediately that day. This buys me time. So today was going to do some bee yard work in the morning and then come and do this in the afternoon, but didn't work out. We had rain all day, so it's raining now, so a perfect time to be in here doing some honey. Let's check some moisture. So we'll pull an outside frame. I'm still not even set up. Now these are on the top, so definitely going to be drier up here. So here's some good uncapped stuff. Let's actually check the capped. I know the uncapped. You know, you can always do the, well, there's a lot of shiny nectar in there. There might be something wet in there. Nothing coming out. But let's check some of the cap stuff just to get an idea. I did check calibration on my refractometer. It's still dead on. That was nice. Oh yeah, it's sticky and thick. It's cool in here too though, so we'll flip this shut. Get it all flattened out, no air bubbles. And looking up at the sky, wow, it's 15%, 14 and a half. What I do is I check this coming out of the extractor as well. It's capped, so I mean, that's what you go by. Old school, you know, you can always go by shaking it. Did that for years. I always look for 90% capped when it's tallow, but in the end, it's capped. It's probably fine all the way through the box, but I always just like to check now that I have one. Nothing worse than getting it going and you start seeing it really running out fast and you check it and it's 19%, and that is not unusual for tallow being pulled off, sitting somewhere for a few hours and then going out being 19%. Not unusual at all. So I'm gonna set up. We're gonna start extracting a few of these, at least start uncapping and show you my process if you haven't seen it already. And if you have, 2025 has begun. All right, shall we begin? I say yes. So folks, since honey harvest is going to be an ongoing process this season, because I'm just going to do what I'm doing now, I'm starting early. Hopefully tomorrow I go get 10 more, depending on weather. We got a lot of rain coming. So hopefully it's not a scramble at the end, but it might be. But for now it's not. So I'm not going to be doing videos every single time I extract honey, but I will show you my process. And we'll definitely do this first one, and we'll probably wrap up with the last one. So I like to take this cracker they got, and I'll just stick it on there and it breaks loose all my frames. Now I got it on cardboard, so it's a little slippery, but I like the cardboard. It just makes cleanup easier. And then I just start filling up my tank. I get 18 in my tank. I load my extractor. While that's running, I do 18 more. I got a cool little tool we're going to look at this time. And this is a honey bucket alarm. This is a small one. They make one for drums too. It's got a float. And you might say, well, Mike, do you really need that? I mean, how big of a production do you think you are? I don't think I'm a big production at all. But what I have done twice, and my wife has done it once, is let this valve over here overflow. I don't usually let that one overflow. I just stuck it there to see if it fits. But what I do with those buckets, I fill them part the way, and then I come over here and finish them off with the tank so I can adjust the bucket as high as I want. And I have sat there and said, okay, it's got, you know, I have a bucket that's half full. I'll stick it under here. It's draining slow. I'll walk over and do something. And honestly, I will forget because I'll get back over here to doing something. And over there to do something. And over there to do something. And next thing you know, you got a puddle of honey. And that is disheartening. Because you do a lot of work. The bees do a lot of work. We all do a lot of work. Not to have honey running on the floor. And it's just a pain to clean honey up. So, I saw that and said, that would have saved me 3 different times. Three different times. So we're going to try it. I'm going to see how it does. I think it's neat. I'll show you who it is, and it's from Honeybee Bucket Alarm is the name of the device, but it's from JLApiaries.com. He's in Jacksonville, Florida. Here is the info on it. Honeybee Bucket Alarm, JLApiaries.com, jl-apiaries.com. 904-673-8480. Can be reached at two different emails, John BOEC3 at Gmail and John BOEC3 at AOL.com. Boy, it's showing his age. AOL.com. Sorry, John. Let's cut some frames. It's going to take me a little bit to get in the rhythm, but let's do it. And of course, it goes without saying, folks, this is not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. I run 9 frames, so I have nice thick frames. Makes it for easy cutting with the knife. I do have some 10 frames. We got one 10 frame in there, but there's several out on the hives. Of course, we're starting foundation with those. So those I have to work the knife in just a little bit extra. But I have found the cold knife for me works just fine. I don't like the hot knife. I've tried the Pierce. So I guess Pierce is now no longer in business. I did not know that until the expo. One thing about my honey getting cold and dry is it when it cuts, it doesn't cut as smooth. Kind of leaves some raggedy edges, but it doesn't cut much comb off. But yeah, so I tried a hot knife. I've tried the angled knife. Now this knife, everybody asks me where I got it every year. And all I can tell you is it was when Kelly Bee was in business. All right, I have not found one with the same measurements and dimensions as this knife. It's longer than the average bread knife in a lot of cases. It's got a different type of serrade. Kelly Bee made this. So, I know somebody that worked at Kelly Bee for a long time. And that particular person looks like developed the same knife because that person told me she was going to develop the same knife because she knew it was a crowd favorite. And I saw a very similar knife now on the website of where she works. Now, I'm not going to vouch for it because I haven't used it, but she developed it after this knife, like designed it like this knife. And that is now found, you guessed it, Hilco. Oh, that's thick. That's what cold, letting the honey cool does. There'll be some days I get it in here, go in, take a shower, and come back out and extract it the same day. Unless the moisture's off on it. But I like to get a lot of the wax off, like this residual wax, so don't have to go through the strainers under the extractor. But anyway, that knife, so yeah, it appears she's got a very similar one. I saw it on Hilco's website the other day. So when people ask me where I got it at Kelly Bee. Best I can tell you to find one now. It appears that Hilco has one. And she worked at Kelly Bee's. I don't know if you saw my Louisiana video. Louisiana convention video from last year. I kind of talked to her a lot, Jennifer. And let me tell you, she grew up at Kelly Bee's. There's a story, man, she grew up there as a child. Very interesting. A lot of bee supply history there with her. So anyway, I'm going to keep on cutting. Let's fill this thing up. Let's get in a good rhythm. And we can knock these 10 boxes out pretty quickly. Oh, we missed a bunch. I'll tell you, it's that top box. 100% thick stuff. Oh, one last thing. I was planning on an uncapper this year. I have one in mind that I want. And when I saw the flow really kind of not panning out as good as I'd liked, I kind of backed off of the investment and invested in a few other things. I might regret that now, but I don't think I will. Last year with the 2 different harvests, I cut close to 1,000 frames. And I said, you know, I'm not going to do that much anymore. If Brian from in Virginia is watching, you know the brand I'm looking at. I looked at a Turkish brand as well, but he knows what I'm looking at. And it wasn't in the cards. but depending on how things pan out for the expo, Lord willing, I'm able to get up there. Might be going home with one for next year. So I don't mind cutting like this, but when you got a lot of boxes to do at one time, I'd rather not. So anyway, all right, let me get this tank full. Enough talking, more work. All right, let's load our extractor. Now I just carefully watch where I'm trying to balance them. Any light frames, like I pick a spot, and get back into rhythm. I pick a spot where I'm gonna put the light frames. And so for example, on this one, the 3 supports, on the right side of each support, I'm gonna put a light frame. So if I run across a light one, I'll spin it around. Like this one's light. So this one will go all the way around, and I'll put it here. I try to balance it. I don't have it bolted to the floor. His extractors, at least it used to, I think it still do. It came with rubber stops for the feet. That helps stabilize it. Loading it is one of the things where you just kind of got to get in the rhythm when you can scoop them in. Here's another light one. Not much honey on it at all. Stick it there. And then what I'll do is I'll pick out another spot if I run into one, and I'll just keep trying to balance it. But that's kind of what I do to keep it somewhat, you know, steady. And then once I get my rhythm, I got to get my rhythm on getting them in there. I can load it pretty fast. This one's kind of light, but I'm going to put it in the middle. So any light ones I'm going to run across, I'm going to put on the right side of the bolt now. The rest of them are heavy. But yeah, it's here. The culmination of all we work for and all the bees work for. Everybody works for this. I know the bees don't work for us to take it, but that's part of raising food. And I just load all my 18 frames. Another good thing about this extractor is I don't have to turn it off to make my video. That old Maxent, golly, that thing is loud. We couldn't even have a conversation in here, my wife and I, when we would work. One day it was on, she was back there in the back, and it's not like this is a big shed, and she didn't realize it was running. It was when we first got it, the first year we got it. So there we go. Shouldn't be long. I think I see it. It's thick, it's light, and it's pure gold. It's 2025 honey. Speed this up a bit. It's got a little wobble. I got 2 light frames kind of mixed in. Something else I do, which I really don't have to do it all this batch, but I'll take a sample from the basket, or when the honey's really running out a lot, I take a sample with my refractometer, just randomly. Usually one per run. Just, I don't know, gives me peace of mind about it. Make sure, because my honey's going to get stored. This is one of the frames that could have been suspect. It was on the edge, wasn't all the way capped. A box that the bees couldn't finish. I'm not sure it's going to show up in the camera too well, but that's some dry stuff. That's some dry honey. Almost too dry when we hit 14. On average, it's been 16. There it comes. And I hear it dripping in the bucket. It's thick. I just love how quiet and smooth this thing is. This thing never gets hot. This motor never gets hot. When I get a whole pile of cappings in there, I pulverize them. I just pulverize them. And that honey will seep right on through. And then I'll leave it that night with the lid on. I'll take this off, clean all this off, put the lid on. This will all stay full of honey. And I'll just let it drain for a day. And then it's pretty much dry. Remove them, start the next day. It's like a big old slurry of honey. They're all pulverized. It's just big puddles, big old giant puddle of honey. Overnight this will dry out and this will all be fluffy on top. It'll still be sticky, but fluffy relative to what we see here. This is my little float switch I got. I stick it on there and I set this. This is about this deep right here. This thing is deep, so everything's floated to the top. So even though there's not a lot coming out, I don't want to overwhelm my strainer because it's already got some wax in it from the extractor. I just let this sit like this, and I can walk away and keep working. That bucket's way down there. When it gets up, this thing will beep. I know to come down here, turn it off, ready to go. That's a pretty neat little device. Well, here you go, folks. So this goes off, I ran over. Valve is shut. Bucket is right up to the, it goes up to the strainer, which is perfect. Now I can pull it out and switch it to another bucket. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is wide open. So I'm still at it, taking my time, getting my process back in my head again, but it's working good. Extractor's working great. Honey is dry. Woo. Can't ask for nothing better than that. Alright folks, I do have to address one thing in this video. My wife and some friends from church decided they were going to take a trip to Hawaii. Off they went to Honolulu. And of course, so she's out the first day, and I said, get some Hawaiian honey. So she just automatically grabbed some at a gift shop right off the bat because she didn't know when she would run into any or what. So she got the generic kind. I'm not sure who packages. This is made in Hawaii. I don't know whose this is, but anyway, real official stuff. And it's packaged for the Dole plantation, right? That's neat. That's souvenir, you know, hey, whatever. But then she went to the market, and that was even better because there was a honey person there. North Shore Bees. Got some honey. And it says produced in small batches by North Shore Bees LLC. I'm not going to try and tempt some of the names on there, but nsbeeshawaii@gmail.com. Home produced cottage food, 9-ounce jars. This is what we sell our creamed honey in. This stuff has got a very unique flavor, and I'm glad to have it. So anyway, she talks with him, and do you know he knew who I was? This fella does bee removals. Kumu Logan Blumfield, is that right? Did I say that right? He watches my channel, so this experience in YouTube has been humbling. How do you go? And now look, I've met Tad from Hawaii. And I tried to get a hold of him and see what island he was on so we could maybe pick up some honey from him. But I didn't get an answer back. He had told me one other time and I couldn't remember. Nonetheless, she ran in to North Shore Bees. And this is Hawaiian Kiawe honey, I guess is the way you say it. It's not too sweet. It's one, I've never had a honey that's, it's like, you know, sometimes super sweet is too much. This has got just, it's almost like a hint of sweetness. Very unique flavor, very good. But sure appreciate it. It said it was established on the North Shore of Oahu in 2019 by self-taught native Hawaiian beekeepers. North Shore Bee specializes in small, one-of-a-kind batches of artisanal honey straight from the hives to you. The practice of malama ka'a, oh boy, to respect and care for the land is what I almost tried to say, is at the core of everything they do. That is so cool. He signs it on the back of his jar. It's got a signature on his label. Pretty cool. And she just happened to talk to him and he knew who I was, and I thought that was cool. Really cool. So, if you're watching, thank you so much. It's a small world, right? Even though you're halfway around the world. Hey, look, that's me. That's my honey harvest. That's what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully get 10 more out tomorrow at least. Might throw some empties on some larger colonies just to make sure they're happy and call it a day and put them in here and get them ready to extract. I'm just going to do boxes and boxes here and there. Get my hive lifter out, go out in the morning, get them, extract them that evening or extract them the next day. So I sure appreciate all y'all watching. I sure hope you enjoyed this video. This is Barry's Best Hunting. I'm Mike, and we are in the honey for 2025. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.